Hey, this is Ken Finnan at Capital Advantage Tutoring. It's my job to get you past the Series 66 exam. I keep getting bugged to do it. And as I told you, I'm afraid of taking this damn test. I like it. I took the real exam and I got like one wrong. But when I take the vendor's one, I get more wrong than I usually think because I'm stressing out. Sometimes I don't like the way they write it, but I'm going to do it here. We're doing Achievable. I'm going to do the Achievable exam. I love their stuff. I'll put a link here so you can buy the product. It's fucking awesome. So let's get into this. C6, 100 questions and 150 minutes. Let's see how we do. Done. Good. Holland takes a $29,000 distribution from a 529 plan, but only use $24,000 for educational purposes. What is the tax consequences? Okay, so let's go with this. No taxes due. Well, on the 24 grand, we don't have to worry about that. Let's go with the 29 grand. Ouch. I hate the fucking phone. I love fucking spam phone calls. Holland takes a $29,000 distribution from a 529 plan, but only uses $24,000 for educational purposes. What are the tax consequences? Okay. He will owe taxes on some of it. So let's see. 29 grand subject to taxes? No. 29 grand subject and no. So we're going to have to go with $5,000 subject to taxes and 10% penalty because he or she, Holland, I can't assume, didn't use the entire thing for education. So we have to go with this one. And the other ones don't make sense. Let's make sure. Because remember, whenever you take money out of a 529 or a covered out, you don't pay taxes if you use it for education. That's where the other ones are bad. Which of the following would not be subject to criminal consequences according to the USA? Implementing a recruit your friends campaign to recommend unsuitable investments. Well, that's kind of fucked up. Okay. Failure to disclose non-material facts. We'll come back to that. Utilizing this title of senior citizen advisor. Okay. Sounds like a police job or something, right? Okay. Refusing to execute a transaction after a phone quote is provided. So that's bad. That's backing away. Utilizing the senior citizen advisor to appeal to older clients. I'm a little tough on that one. I don't like that. And if you don't give out non-material facts, yeah, that's fine. You can't have to give out. You have to make sure you don't have to disclose all facts, but you do have to disclose all material facts or all facts that they would need to make a recommendation, to make a decision. So we're going to go with B. An investor requests a $45,000 purchase of the Riley Bond Fund, which has a break point of $47,000. The RR or agent processes the request and provides the investor with a trade confirmation. Which of the following statements is true? The rep acted ethically. The registered should have assessed a sales charge. Okay. The registered rep could have charged a 12B1 fee. The registered rep engaged in a prohibited practice. I'm going to go with prohibited practice only because that is a breakpoint sale, which is a no good. Go with that one. Okay. A client of yours is the CEO of a publicly traded company. They have a large position of the company stock they would like to sell to purchase new investment property for their family. What limits must they abide by if attempting to sell as many shares as possible? Let's see. Do we have to do he's a control person. So it's 144. Okay. So it's the 1% of the outstanding or the 4 weeks trading volume. Remember, 144, 1% of the outstanding, 4 weeks trading volume, 4 times a fucking year. Good. So it's got to be this one. Watch, I'll be wrong, but that should be the answer. Which of the following measures directly affects the payout of a tips? Consumer confidence. We're confident. No, that's not it. GDP. No. SIFMA. No, that's just a regulatory. CPI, Consumer Price Index. That's the inflation, baby. Good. Okay. Of the following securities listed, which is most likely to maintain a beta of 1.0? That means even with the market. Income fund, small cap song, ETF, or leverage ETF. Well, leverage has an extra beta, either 2 or 3. Income fund, probably boring as shit. Small caps is very risky, so I'm going to go with an ETF that usually matches an index. Remember, if it's a leverage, it moves more. If it's inverse, it moves opposite. So if this was like an inverse ETF, it'll be a negative one. An investment advisor can be An investment advisor can be best described by which of the following definitions? Any person who for compensation engages in the business of advising others on securities. An individual, I don't like that, who represents a financial firm and offering. That's more like an agent. An individual I don't like. Any individual who represents a financial firm in affecting or attempting to affect purchases. No, that sounds like an agent again. Any person in the gauge of affecting transactions and securities for the account of others or their own account. That sounds like a broker-dealer. So I'm going to go with A, the advisor, because an advisor is a person. Remember, a person can be an individual or a firm, a legal person that gives advice as a business for compensation and securities. I like it. Which of the following is subject to forward pricing? What does forward pricing mean? That means you put your order in and you find out later. Sounds like a great. Never mind. I was going to try to say something funny, but there's nothing there. Just hit dead air. Publicly traded funds, no, they trade all day long. Exchange traded funds, no, they trade all day long. Common stock trades all day long. Mutual funds. Mutual funds trade where you buy it at 2 p.m. and you don't find out what you paid until after the close at the NAV plus a sales charge if needed. The Sharpe ratio factors all except, always remember, except portfolio or security return, beta, standard deviation, risk-free rate of return. Okay, I'm going to say beta because it does. So Sharpe ratio is expected return minus risk-free rate over standard deviation. But remember this, somebody in one of my students, sometimes I just ramble. One of my students said that they saw the trainer ratio, TREYNOR ratio. And that looks just like the Sharpe ratio, except it's over beta. So the Sharpe ratio is return minus risk-free rate over standard deviation, which is volatility. Trainer ratio is return minus risk-free rate over this stock's beta, just in case you see it. You probably won't, but you never know. If somebody saw it, I want to make sure that you guys are ready for it. According to the legal provisions, all of the following are considered persons except what's not a person. Okay, there's only 3 things. Okay, local government could be. General partnership, yeah. 67-year-old recently deceased retired firefighter. And a 56-year-old pharmacist whose spouse was recently declared mentally incompetent. Ooh, so let's see. What are the 3 things that are not people? Dead, dumb, don't touch. So dead is not a person. Mentally incompetent and under 18. So the 67-year-old is the answer because they're dead. Yeah, that works. Anti-fraud rules of the Uniform Securities Act apply to all the following circumstances except the offer of a product excluded from the definition of a security. I'm leaning into that. The offer of an exempt security. No. The offer is a non-exempt security. No. The offer of a security involved in exempt transactions. No, because here's the deal on this. So people get confused. Everything that is subject to the USA, all securities, exempt or not, are subject to the SEC and the USA fraud things. Non-securities are not. So like an insurance product would be subject to the state insurance policies fraud act, or futures would be subject to the NFA or the CFTC's fraud act, not the Securities Act. So that's why this one is the answer. Product excluded from the definition. Exempt or non-exempt, doesn't matter, still subject. An agent registration may be denied, suspended, or revoked according to the provision of the USA when which of the following circumstances exist? The denial, suspension, or revocation is in the public's best interest. The denial, suspension, or revocation of the administrator's interest. The agent pleaded no contest with securities-related misdemeanor 6 years ago. The agent has a securities-related theft silly charge. So charges we don't care about. So I'm going to go definitely 3 because it's a securities-related misdemeanor, and no contest is the same as being guilty. And I say 1 and 3. I'm going to go with 1 and 3 because it's not all. So I throw out that one. Okay. And definitely 3. So the only one with 3 in it and that I like. And who cares about the administrative best interest? Don't care. So it's got to be 1 and 3. An agent of a broker-dealer wants to split commissions with another registered agent, okay, in hopes of generating more business opportunities. In order to engage in this activity, which statement is not false? I love these. Fucking not false. Okay, so let's think about this. Not false. So it's not false. So it's true. Think true. I need true. Don't get caught up in the words. Just go in, out, up, yes, no. Just sort of count what you're doing. I think this intermittent fasting is making me hyper. The commission split must be proven to be equitable and fair. The agents may share commissions without restrictions. That's false. That's not true. The agents may not share commissions under any circumstance. Nope. And the agent may split commissions if working with the same firm. There's other deals with that, but yeah, that's the best answer. Same firm, both register with the customers registered, equally registered, we like to call it. Okay. But they don't have to be equally paid. You can have one guy get 80 and she gets 20, or she gets 80, he gets 20, whatever. Order tickets must be prepared what time? Well, you can't fucking enter an order unless you can't enter an order unless you had an order ticket. So I say it has to be prior to order entry. And if it's wrong, I will fly out to California and go after the writer. The capital asset pricing model is utilized. I'm going to be taking breaks because I got a bunch of phone calls, but I'll try to get through this in one shot. The capital asset pricing model is utilized by investors while analyzing their portfolios. Which statement related to this financial model is false? So I think they do. They do expected returns. They only consider systematic. I don't think, maybe that's the answer. Because I know they use beta. The word only again scares me. I got to really think about this. But I think that maybe they do just use systematic. So I'm going to say none of these choices are false. That's where I'm going to go. I'm rolling with it, baby. Okay. Investment analysts discounting. Oh, let's start over again. Investment analysts oftentimes, that's a nice oldie time word, oftentimes use discounted cash flow techniques to determine the quality of a security. All of the following are related to discounted cash flow except discount rate, internal rate of return. I think it's Sharpe Ratio. Sharpe Ratio is more about risk adjusted. But remember, so DCF, you're using DCF. Using DCF to, what are we trying to use DCF to? Find the present value or to figure out the future value. So we're going to figure out a discount rate and we come up with the internal rate of return. I'm going to go with Sharpe Ratio because that's more about risk than return. In regard to the prospects of lending money to or borrowing from a client, all the following statements are true except registered persons may borrow money from a client that is a bank. I agree. Lending money to customers is generally prohibited. That's kind of true. Short-term loans below 500 allowed in all circumstances, no fucking way. An IAR may connect their client with a margin loan through their affiliated broker dealer. I'm going to go with short-term loans because either loans are good, whether it's $1 or 1,000, it's still the same thing. It's not generally prohibited. It's not generally allowed. Fucking stutter, Ken. Stop stuttering. Okay. NASA rules require certain protocols to be followed when IA publicly discloses its recommendation. Which of the following are included in those protocols? Recommendations made less than a year ago cannot be disclosed. The advisor may utilize past recommendations to project future cycles. No fucking way. The advisor may avoid disclosing low performance. No fucking way. And recommendations to scope may not be selective. So we can't go with just one. So it's going to be 1 and 4. And 1 and 4 is an answer because 2 and 3 are wrong. And it's not just 4. So I'm going to go with that. Here's the thing. So they can't. If 4 only was an answer, I'd pick that. Okay. So the reason I'm saying they have to do at least a year. So the wording's a little tough on that one, but I'm okay with, I'm going to go with 1 and 4 because you have to show at least a year and you can't fucking cherry pick, which means you give them all the recommendations or you do none. And you can't predict future success. The USA and NASA rules outline a number of fraudulent and prohibited activities that may not be taken by an IA or an IAR. All the following would qualify except. So they're asking which one's okay. So failing to disclose a material fact. Nope, that's not okay. Recommending an unregistered non-exempt security. Nope, not okay. An IAR placing a personal trade just prior to a large client order. No, not okay. Making a suitable recommendation of aggressive stocks. It's fucking suitable. Totally cool. Don't get fucked up on the accept questions. Think about what they're doing. They're saying all these are bad. Which one isn't? They're saying which one's a good thing. Sometimes you can figure that out when you look at it and you go, wow, 3 things look bad and 1 looks good. Then you have to go back and go, oh, I misread it. Happens all the time to me. A 50-year-old investor has $2.5 million in one portfolio, which comprises all of their investments. They're at the 37% tax bracket and are seeking income from their portfolio without taking significant risk. What investment risk does this investor most likely match with? I would say they want, interesting, they're in the 37, which is a lot. I would say tax advantage income, because it's moderate. Moderate could be there, but I'm going to go with tax advantage because you can't get much higher tax bracket than that. I would go with that. Which of the following statements regarding valuation ratios utilized by investors seeking stocks is correct? A low price to book indicates the stock may be underpriced. Okay. A low PE, no, it means it's overvalued. No, high PE might be overvalued. PE is price to earnings. High PE are for growth. So high PE are typical for value. No, that's not true. Price to book ratios are often used by technical. No, technical uses charts and patterns and trends and momentum, not market averages and stuff like that. Looking at the actual company's fundamentals. So it has to be a low price to book ratio, indicates a stock might be underpriced and it might be a value and you might want to buy it. A 38-year-old investor has 55 grand to invest in the market and is seeking your advice. Why would he do that? The investor has a spouse and 2 children. Good for him. 2 children dependents. I have a lot of dependents. A steady job earning 300 grand annually, doing well, and is currently in the 24% tax rate. He must have a really good fucking accountant. They seek a long-term capital appreciation as their primary goal and want to avoid inflation as their secondary goal. Which of the following is the most suitable investment? High yield bonds, no. They want to avoid inflation. So anything fixed income has inflation risk. So bonds is income, no. Preferred stock is income, no. Dividend paying stocks, maybe. I would go with blue chips because you get the best chance of growth. Because remember, usually stocks that pay high dividends don't have a lot of growth. They're kind of just hanging out there paying you. Which of the following statements made by a registered person would not be considered unethical and prohibited? So which one is okay? Okay, returns from the stock market will always outpace the rate of inflation. While that may be true, you can't say it. U.S. government securities are guaranteed against loss. We'll come back to that one. This security is guaranteed due to the insurance for loss of principal and interest. Wow. Which one is okay? We're so confident on the prospects of the investment will refund all fees associated with the transaction if you get a loss. Okay. Okay. A is wrong. I'm between B and C. U.S. government securities are not guaranteed against loss because if you sell them for less, right? So you could lose money. I'm going to go with C. I'm going to fucking regret it, but I'm going to go with C and see what happens. Okay. When a limited partnership is formed, a document must be created to establish the rights, duties, and restrictions of each partner. What is that document? That should be the agreement of limited partnership. So the agreement is how we set it up. The subscription is when the limited partner joins, and the certificate is what you send to the state to say, hey, we're a limited partnership. And corporate charter for corporation. A 30-year-old investor at the 24% bracket with a $100,000 portfolio specifies capital appreciation. Remember that as your investment objective. Their current asset allocation of their portfolio is 25 value, 50 growth, 10 preferred, 10 corporate, 5. So 25% is income. Okay. 50 value. Okay. Okay. So majority of the growth should be should and preferred. No, because they want capital appreciation. I was worried it was going to be a tough one. Half the growth should be put in value. No, they want capital appreciation. And majority of value stocks should be sold and invested in preferred. No, I think the allocation is okay because you're 50% growth, 25% value. I don't think you should go into more value. The person's 30 years old and they're doing okay, so they can take on the risk. Harley Channing is a registered agent with EFG Broker-Dealer Services, a prominent broker-dealer registered in all 50 states. A very important client of the firm reaches out to Harley and requests a loan to make a charitable donation while the client awaits the proceeds from a real estate sale. Okay. Harley Channing is a registered agent. You ever read a question and just like, I don't know what I read? Harley Channing is a registered agent A prominent broker-dealer registered in all 50 states. A very important client of the firm reaches out to Harley and requests a loan to make a charitable donation while the client awaits the proceeds from a real estate sale. No, you can't fucking loan. You may not offer a personal loan in any form, okay? May only offer personal loan if the customer is verified to be a close family member. Oof. Oh, I see what that's saying. Okay. Must turn away the client. May only offer personal loan with approval of the administrator. I think maybe A is a better one. I mean, I don't like the answer. It seems weird, but it's the best one, okay? Because family members, if you're an agent, you can lend and borrow from family members. IARs cannot. Okay. A client of yours owns an individual account at your broker-dealer. They unexpectedly pass away and they're surviving. Oh, bad. The unexpectedly pass away and their surviving spouse notifies you of their death. The spouse requests a withdrawal from the account to pay for funeral expenses. What statement is true? Even if the spouse prevents a valid will to the firm, it doesn't allow access. The account is not subject to probate. The representative should wait for any outstanding trades to execute. Okay. Yeah, you can't allow access. Maybe I'm wrong, but you got to wait for it to run through the will. Okay. Boom. You got to wait for, you can't do that. You can't let them touch it until you got to prove death and you got to get through probate. Which of the following statements are true regarding Canadian broker-dealers operating in a U.S. state? Canadian broker-dealers may not engage in any investors in the U.S. Nah, that's not true. Canadian broker-dealers are subject to the same registration requirements as U.S.-based broker-dealers. That's not true. Canadian broker-dealers may obtain a limited registration, continue working with Canadian clients temporarily in the U.S. Canadian broker-dealers are excluded from the definition of broker-dealer and may freely work with Canadian clients in the U.S. No, that's not true. D is not true because if they visit. So here's the thing. There's a variation in the law. So a couple of states still have the thing where they need registration, but NASA has pushed for them all to take the old, if a Canadian broker-dealer's clients visit the U.S., they do not have to register. As long as they're visiting, not moving there, okay? But there are some states who do require limited registration, but here's my thing. I'm going to go with the limited registration because that's the best of the four. They don't get free reign. That's the thing. Which of the following tax system is not regressive? Okay. Under U.S. tax code. Income is not excise sales. Oh. Income tax. Excise tax is like a sales tax. Excise tax is on products. It's like a set thing. So regressive means that it's the tax on the product. So the more you make, the less it hurts you, right? So if you pay taxes on a like a steak dinner, say you buy just say your buddies go out for a $1,000 steak dinner, and you say, listen, we all pay our share of the taxes. Well, the one who makes the least amount of money, those taxes are going to hurt the most because it's not relative to their income. So it's regressive. It hurts poor people more. Okay. The income tax, that goes, the more you make, the more they take. So that's progressive. I'm going to go with that. Because the problem is I would have gone with all is at first, but then I'm like, wait, excise and sales are kind of flat taxy. They're taxed on the product. So that doesn't matter how much you make. So someone who doesn't make enough money, it'll be a bigger percentage of their income. On May 11th, 2020, an investor, back in those days, we didn't know what was going on, huh? An investor purchases 500 shares of stock. It's 55. The investor gifts his daughter the shares 8 months later when the stock is trading at 78. And then the shares are sold by the investor's daughter on May 8th. So they didn't make it to the full year, right? So they're short-term, definitely. Now, if the investor dies, it's long-term. But since it's a gift, it's not long-term. It's going to be short-term. Okay. The investor gives his daughter to the shares 8 months later at 78. The shares are sold at 85. It's a short-term gain. Do I have to do the math on this? Guys, you make me do the math on this shit? Okay, hold on. Let's do the math. So we're going to do 85 minus 55 is 330 times 500. That's a $15,000 short-term capital gain. Boom. Short-term. Good. Because they don't step up cost basis easier. Okay. Good. I got to pause this for a second because I got to do one quick thing. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay. Which of the following types do not require Documentation to open. What does that mean? Which of the following types of accounts do not require documentation to open? Okay, so which of the following types of accounts do not require documentation to open? I'm not 100% sure what they mean, but I'm just going to go through this. So trust, custodial, and guardianship account usually require that so explain it because I'm stuttering. They usually require that you have some sort of documentation saying who the person in charge of it is. I'm going to go with partnership account. I could be way wrong, but custodial, guardianship, and trust accounts all have somebody watching it for somebody else. So I'm going to go with this one. What is the formula for corpus PE ratio? It's going to be market price over earnings per share. Boom, there it is. Common stock market price over earnings per share. High PE is a growth, low PE is a value. What term accurate describes an ETN? It's debt. ETN, exchange traded note. It's not an open-end fund. It's not a closed-end fund. It's a debt. Boom. So it has to be a debt obligation. Biggest risk on an ETN is default risk, and then you got market risk. Dakota Inc., which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Tennessee Enterprises, issues a 15-year 7.6% bond. Payment of interest in principal is backed by the Tennessee Enterprises. What type of bond is Dakota Incorporated issuing? It is sounds like a debenture because there's actually no. Oh, my bad. Backed by Tennessee. It took me a second to read that. Dakota Inc., backed by Tennessee. That's a guaranteed bond because it's backed by a parent company. Boom. See what happens when you get lazy. Boom. After tracking the returns of their portfolios over the past year, an investor calculates the portfolio's Sharpe Ratio. Which of the following best describes their finding? Expected return? No, that's more cap M and shit. Discounted cash flow? No, that's discounted cash flow. Future value? No, that would go with DCF and all that shit. So it has to be risk-adjusted return because remember, Sharpe Ratio is return minus the risk-free rate divided by standard deviation, which is risk. So I would say it's a risk-adjusted return. Boom. An investor utilizing a strategic asset allocation makes adjustments to their portfolio periodically to ensure their allocations stay in line with long-term goals. What word best describes this action? I would say it's not tactically managing because I'm thinking tactically is you're trying to always interesting. So tactically is trying to take care of like current market trends and stuff like that. Converting and adjusting aren't a thing. I'm gonna go with rebalancing. It's a stretch, but that's hard. Part of this test is you have to find the closest to it, right? Sometimes. So tactically is more like taking advantage of market trends and shit like that. I would go with rebalancing because it's periodically. It's more passive than active. Which of the following statements regarding registration of broker-dealers is false? It's not true. So we're looking for the wrong answers only, please. The consent to service or process must only be filed once. No renewal is required. That's a true statement. Criminal actions related to the broker-dealer must be disclosed. That's a true statement. Registration must only be attained once. No renewal is required. That's not true. Filing fees are not required for successor firm updates. That's true. So when you buy another firm, you don't have to do filing fees until after. Okay. Which is false, right? Boom. So it's only once. Boom. Okay. All the following terms and phrases are associated with a dealer transaction except. So dealer, principal, dealer markup. That's what I go with. So principal, markdown, trading for their own account. I'm going to go with commission, ABC, agent, broker, commission. Boom. Love it, you guys. You're rocking it. Which of the following financial firms makes a business from maintaining custody of customer assets and fulfilling trades on an agency or principal basis? Market makers? No, that wouldn't be agency. Traders would be markup, would be principal also. Investment banks is more, well, they're all under investment banks, so it could be there. But I'm going to go with broker-dealer because I think that's the best one. They do trades on an agency and a principal basis. They hold on to the people's shares, all that stuff. A sales pitch on universal variable life insurance is being made by an insurance salesperson. Which of the following statements made by the salesperson would be considered false or misleading? Which of the sales pitch on a universal variable life insurance policy is being made by an insurance salesperson? Which of the following statements made by the salesperson will be considered false or misleading? Minimum guaranteed cash value? No. Cash value may be kept if contract is forfeited. Investor may mitigate inflation risk. That's true. And insurance company must register as products as securities. I'm going to say 3 and 4 is, let's see. 3 and 4 is not a choice. So it has to be 2, 3, and 4. Oh, which one would be considered most leading? See what happens? You get fucked up. 1 is definitely most leading. Most leading, false leading. And 2, cash value may be kept. I guess you do pay a penalty if you contracted. Okay. So we're going to say 1 only is false. Because there's no minimum guaranteed cash value. There's a minimum death benefit, not a minimum cash value. Good. Okay. An investor applies to open a margin account with their broker-dealer. What statement is true regarding these accounts? Loan consent form must be signed. No, it's optional. So out. 1 is out. Anything with 1, it is out. So top A is out. The hypothecation agreement must be signed. That's a true. So 2 is definitely in it. The margin agreement must be signed and submitted promptly after the first trade. That's true. And it doesn't have to be ahead of the first trade. So I'm going to say 2 and 3. I always thought it was ahead of time, but I read a couple places now that it can be done promptly after the first trade. Watch, I'll be wrong, but I think it's 2 and 3 because you have to sign it, and the credit agreement, margin agreement, hypothecation have to be signed. Loan consent does not have to be signed. It's optional. And you should know what that is by now from the 7. An investor wishes, must be Halloween, wishes to further diversify their portfolio with real estate, but is concerned about their lifestyle change in the short term. In the next few years, they could possibly be promoted to a better paying job or could be laid off. Poof, flip a coin on that one. The investor will not have much clarity on their employment status for at least a year. What the fuck kind of job is that? In the meantime, they ask for your help in picking real estate properties for long-term investments. What should you do? You should fucking put your shit in a money market. That's what you should do. But God forbid you do that, right? Okay. So to consider listed REITs given their lack of liquidity risk. Okay. To continue forward with the plan and find good opportunities in the real estate market. Because it might not be able to get out of it. To completely avoid this type of investment, given future uncertainty. To consider unlisted private REITs due to their exclusivity. Okay. This is, okay. Now, to consider listed REITs given their lack of liquidity risk. Okay. They don't all, I agree, but you got a year fucking money markets. I'm going to go with top right. And if it's top left REITs, I'll be surprised, but it's answer. Fucking avoid this risk. Which of the following is not considered principle of modern portfolio theory? Efficient portfolios have high return potential and low risk potential. Investors should add correlated assets to increase diversification. That's not fucking true. Non-correlated. Diversification should be attained to reduce non-systematic risk. That's true. Investors should evaluate risk on a holistic level instead of emphasizing individual securities. Okay, I agree with that. I think it's on the big picture. So I guess the whole point, yeah. So it's not that they have higher returns, efficient portfolios, you're getting the highest return for the lowest amount of risk. So I'm with that. So I'm going to say so investors add non-correlated assets to increase diversification. An investment advisor makes a recommendation to a client involving the purchase of several mutual funds. The advisor is being paid by the fund company to recommend its securities to clients. What statement is true? There's an ethical section if the payment from the fund company is disclosed to the client and the fund is suitable. Unethical, no, you don't know if the fund's unsuitable. This is unethical with the payment for the fund company. No, they can get paid. It's 12B1 fees. This would be ethical if the fund was suitable. Okay, D is good, but A is better. A means it has to be disclosed and you have to make sure it's suitable. So if you're getting paid by a mutual fund, it's called 12B1 fees, and they pay you for putting people into their accounts, That's fine, but you gotta fucking tell your client, and it has to be suitable. The state administrator may take action against a person's registration status in certain circumstances. Which statement is false? The revocation of an investment advisor's registration results in the IR's registration becoming inactive. That's true. The suspension of an agent's registration results in the broker-dealer's registration. That's not true. Because if the firm goes, you go. But if you go, the firm doesn't go. The revocation of broker-dealer's registration results in the agent's registration becoming inactive. Yep. And none of the above. So the false statement. See, now what I think is funny is that technically, if I say this, if B is false, that means, does it mean D is false? I have to wrap my head around that one. Okay. Because it's not saying none, it's saying one of them is false. Okay. Which of the following statements regarding third-party access to a client account is not false? So what's true? Clients may only provide their assigned agents with limited trading authority. No. Limited trading authority allows a third party to place trades and request controls. No. Trade authorization may not be revoked without a court order. No. So none of these choices are true because you can give limited or full. Limited means you can do trades. Full means you can do trades and withdraw money. Boom. An agent meets with a client to discuss the suitability of a common stock. While the security seems suitable, it's experiences significant volatility over the past month. The agent recommends a purchase given the growth in the company's earnings, but the client wants to perform more research before making any investment fair. A week later, the agent attempts to call the client after a report is disseminated publicly about a new product the company plans to release. The call goes to voicemail, and the agent leaves a message stating that it will make a small purchase of the stock for the client due to the new product release. The following day, the stock rises 15% in value. The client returns the agent call to thank them for making the purchase, although they wish they had purchased more shares. Which statement is true? Do they have motherfucking discretion? That's all we want to know. Doesn't say we have discretion, right? The agent performed an unethical action. Even if you make money, you can't make trades without getting either if you have discretion or they have to say, okay, that doesn't work. So the agent is unethical even though you made money. Which of the following statements regarding various performance measures is correct? I got to stop after this one for halfway through. I'm going to do one more, cut a break. You'll see a cut. And then after my student, I'll finish this. Which of the following statements regarding various performance measures is correct? Dollar-weighted return is commonly used as to measure performance of fund managers. Time-weighted is rarely utilized. Why can't I speak? To measure performance? No, that is true. Time-weighted does not factor in capital additions or withdrawals. That's true. Dollar-weighted does not. Yeah, dollar-weighted does factor in capital additions or withdrawals. Dollar-weighted is not used to compare managers. Time-weighted is. So time-weighted is the best to compare managers. Dollar-weighted is what you use to compare your return. The belief that no information, including non-public information, can be utilized to determine future market movements is close to language with the following forms of fish. I think they're saying that even though, I think it's saying that even if public or private information won't help you, I think that's going to be strong. So the three things are weak, semi-strong, and strong. Weak believes that you can use fundamental to beat, not technical. Weak, semi-strong believes that you can use, if you have all the public information is built into it, but non-public information, if you had access to that, which means felony, you could beat the market. Strong believes that even with inside information, you could not beat it. Hey, if you made it this far, just go check out Achievable. Go to their website, take a look at their stuff, see if you like it. I think they let you do a little free trial, try it out. It's good stuff. I mean, you see the questions, they're challenging me, they're pushing me hard. Also, if you like the style, go check out Brandon Rith over at Basic Wisdom. Also, don't forget, I have membership stuff where you can do the weekly Zoom call. The option thing doesn't work for you guys. You're taking the 66. I also go check me out on TikTok. I have some videos over there that aren't here under Blue Collar Finance. Let's go, baby. I'm not going to do any dances, but whatever. Let's get back to question 52 or 51, wherever we are. Okay, we're back. I did my lesson. Now we're back to this. Okay, number 51. We're over halfway through. I don't know. Is it close? I have no idea. Which of the following is true when referencing financial requirements of registered persons? Okay, so investment advisor reps meet minimum net cap? No, because individuals don't. So that means agents is out too. So the whole left is out. IARs and agents do not have minimum net cap shit. They can be bank, whatever. Broker dealers meet net cap. Okay, I like that. IAs must meet net cap. No. So you would think, okay, IAs might have some minimum financial shit, but that's called net worth. So IAs do net worth, broker dealers do net cap. So I'm going to go with net capital. Which of the following is most likely to earn a commission? ABC, agent, broker, commission. So I'm going to go with broker, but at dealers and market makers get selling, get mark up, mark down, and selling groups get concessions. So we're going to go with selling concession. We're going to go with brokers for ABC, agent, broker, commission. A 72-year-old retired risk-averse, wimpy investor, yeah, he's 72, he should be, needs ongoing income from an investment. They want to avoid market risk and default risk as much as possible. Which investment should you recommend? Aggressive. Okay, so aggressive growth. No, that's risky. Small cap. No, that's risky. High yield. No, remember, high yield is not high grade. High yield is risky. So we're going to go with U.S. government bond fund because that's government bonds. They have low return, low risk. Good. Which of the following are associated with universal variable life insurance products? Okay, so universal variable life. So variable life means it's a security. The return goes up and down, and universal means you can control the payments. Okay. 1, premiums may be skipped, but eventually result in policy lapsing. Okay, that's a maybe. Excluded from definition of security? No, because variable means it's a security, so 2 is out. Cash value in a general account? No, because anything with variables in the separate account. Policyholders subject to market risk. So I'm going to go with 1 and 4. Let's hope it's there. 1 and 4. INEV. Okay, good. Which of the following asset allocations is most suitable for a 30-year-old investor? What a child. So I always get these wrong because I'm much more aggressive on this, but let's go with this. Okay. 50-50 stock? No. 30% stock, 70% fixed income? No, because I always do their age in stock, okay? I do their age in bonds, okay? So I do their age in bonds. So 50-50, 30-70 fixed income, that's too much fixed income. 90 stock, 10% fixed income, 10% stock, no. So it has to be the 90. I don't love it, but it's better than the 50-50. And if they go 50-50, I get it, but they're 30, they're young, they're too far away for the 50-50s. Okay, good. And on those, I don't get them wrong all the time, but I disagree with the vendors. Okay. An agent of a large broker dealer wishes to share an account with her aunt, okay, who is a customer of the firm in order to comply with relevant rules and regulations, which must be followed to engage in this activity. No requirements exist because the family member, we'll come back to that. Written joint agreement and written firm approval must be obtained. Written agreement with family member and verbal. No, there's no such thing as verbal. So I'm going to go with written and written because as FINRA tells me, if it's not in writing, it didn't happen. So I'm going to go with written joint agreement and written firm approval must be attained. Indications of interest during the registration of shares are binding on what parties? Nobody. They're not binding. IOIs are not binding. So it's nobody, neither the firm nor the customer. Boom. It's just an interest. Hey, we'd like to buy some shares. You either get them or you don't. Okay. Discounted cash flow tools can be used to analyze certain securities for investment worthiness. Which statement regarding DCF is considered false? So it's not true. IRR can be utilized to analyze preferred stock. A positive NPV demonstrates that the IRR exceeds the discount rate. Okay. An investor should not purchase a security if it maintains an NPV below 0. That's true. An NP of an investment is 0. The discount rate is less than its IRR. Oh, I think it's going to be the bottom right because then I think, because if there's 0, that means it should be the same. I'm going to go with NPV of 0 means everything's the same kind of thing. I'm going to go with that. We'll come back and see how that works out. A customer fills out a new account form at a broker dealer and answers all the suitability questions. Which of the following statements is true regarding the suitability profile? A large annual income indicates a conservative strategy may be suitable. Low liquidity needs indicate its DPP may be suitable. No fucking way. Oh, maybe. A low net worth indicates a hedge fund? No. A low tax bracket indicates a muni bond may be suitable? No. So which is true? So large income, it's kind of tough to make these assumptions, but they kind of work, right? So if I don't make a lot of money, hedge funds out. If I'm in a low tax bracket, munis are up. Rich people buy munis, poor people buy corporates. I'm getting shit on. I said that on TikTok. I have like a short video. It's hit like 30,000 views and it's just getting fucking obliterated. But whatever, not obliterated. Most people agree, but there's always the arrogant assholes who tell me I'm wrong. Okay. Large annual income indicates conservative. Okay, we're not going with that one, right? Because if you have a lot of income, maybe you can take on more risk. So we're going to go with low liquidity needs. So if I don't need the money right away, a DPP might work. So I'm going to go with low liquidity needs indicated DPP may be suitable. And if you heard me stutter before, I almost threw that answer out. Gotta have an open mind, babies. Okay. Which of the following securities is most likely to obtain capital appreciation? Okay, 6.5% bond. Ooh, this is a great question. So I would probably go with participant. I'm going to go. Oh, there it is. Motherfucker. How hard or stupid is it, man? Convertible, baby. Capital appreciation. I was looking for convertible and missed it. So what happens? You can't see the forest for the trees or the trees for the forest. Okay. So now I'm looking at all four of these, and capital appreciation would be like, maybe if interest rates drop, the price of a bond will go up. So I'm looking for the longest and the lowest coupon, but that doesn't work here. Convertible bonds. Remember, convertible bonds turn into common stock. So they will move with the common stock. So they will be volatile. Boom. That's always the answer. Whenever you see looking for capital appreciation, do what I did, except for actually read the answers. Look for the word convertible, baby. A customer of yours has provided a 401k at their new place of employment. Which of the following is most likely to describe the characteristics of the employer? Government agency? No, that's like a 457 kind of thing. Nonprofit? No, that's probably like a 403B or a 457. Small business? That'd be a KEO or a SEP IRA or nothing. Large corporation. 401ks are for bigger companies because there's a lot of expenses incurred, but they get a lot of discounts and shit, good shit. Okay. An IAR makes a recommendation to a client to purchase Class A front-end load mutual fund with the following breakpoint. You can read that. The investor asked to purchase $26,001 of the fund. The IAR submits a trade to the affiliated broker-dealer for transaction execution. The shares settle in the customer's account the next business day. Which of the following is true? Okay, doesn't seem to be a problem. The IAR engaged or prohibited? Nah, I don't think so. The IAR followed proper protocols as long as the security was suitable. I like that. IAR made unsuitable? No. And the broker-dealer should have disclosed their capacity. Nah, I don't think so. I think IAR is fine because it's not a breakpoint sale because it's above the cutoff. We're good. Now, if they said put in 24,999, that would have been an unethical because it would have been a breakpoint sale. Very good. Good job, Ken. Pat on your back. Okay. An investor goes short 300 shares of Facebook at 170. Nah, they're going to get hurt now because it's 210. Which of the following options would provide the best hedge? So if I'm short stock, I'm either going to sell a put or buy a call. Buy a call for hedge, sell a put for income. So I'm looking for buy calls. Boom, right there. Buy long 170 calls. I like it. Be expensive. Probably should buy like 175 calls, but we're good. A corporate bond is quoted at 83 and a quarter. What is the price? Bring out the handy dandy calculator. So what's the first thing you do? First thing I do is I do 3 divided by 4. 3 divided by 4 equals 0.75. Then I do plus 83. Boom, 83.75 times 10 to get it out there. 837.50. Do we see it? I know what I did. I know what I did wrong. I divided wrong. Okay. Pay attention, peoples. 1 divided by 4 is 0.25 plus 83 times 10 is 832.50. Boom. I may leave that mistake in there just so you can see what happens if it's at 8037.50. I'd have picked it and thought I was right. So make sure you pay attention. Don't pull my fucking stupid shit. So that's question 64. I'm going to put a note to make sure I let people know as I'm doing it that it's not that I was making a mistake in the beginning. So they don't freak out. Question 64. Checkmate. What a fill. Okay. NASA's checklist on cybersecurity practices recommends the usage of which of the following transmitting secure information online? Of which of the following? Okay. Huh. I would say encryption, but it could be easy. Physical delivery would be old. I think digital waterfall methodology. So it's either two-factor or encryption. I'm going to go with encryption. Could be two-factor, but they don't, who knows. But digital waterfall is digital watermark. Okay, good. Funny guys. Okay. All of the following would appear on an order ticket except. Yeah, there's no such size of the order. Yes. If it's a day order or GTC, yes, time constraints. Account number, yeah, you would put that maybe. I would say you don't put the market order price because there's no such thing as a market order price. Good. Limit order price, maybe. Two clients of yours own a tenants in common account together. In addition to several other account types regarding the TIC, which statement is true? Checks must be requested by all. No. Trades must be requested by all. No. Mail must be issued by all. No. So checks must be payable to all owners. So whenever you have a joint account, the check has to be written to both people so that you're not stealing the money. Okay. Of the following statements provided, which is R/are true? The Sharpe ratio measures the inflation adjusted return. No fucking way. It's risk adjusted. Real rate of return measures risk adjusted. No. All forms of return are factored into total return. Yeah, that works. Thank God there's number 3. 1 and 2 are wrong. Sharpe is risk adjusted. Real rate of return is your return minus inflation, so it's inflation adjusted. Love it. Okay, under 144, then affiliate, because you're a control person or married to one. An affiliate must sell the greater of 1% of the outstanding or the 4 weeks trading volume. So it's 1% and 4. I wish they would do that on the test. That'd be fun. Okay. According to NASA rules, an advisor must deliver a brochure to new clients. What statement is true regarding the delivery of this document? The brochure under NASA, this is state. Remember, state has different rules. The brochure must be delivered 48 hours to contract signing. If not delivering the brochure within 48 hours of contract signing, that's tricky. No terminations, fees may be charged. No, it's prior to, not within. The brochure need not be delivered to an accredited investor. That's not true. And the brochure need not be delivered to qualified. No, that's not true. So we're going to go that it has to be delivered 48 hours before under state law. Under federal law, it's at or prior to the signing. Get that shit straight. A married couple in their early 30s, good luck for them. Are both clients of yours or in need of investment advice? Their combined annual income is $750,000 and they're just now getting advice. Crazy. And they currently have investment accounts with a balance of $500,000. Their entire portfolio is invested in money markets. If the couple maintains an aggressive risk tolerance and an investment objective of growth, what portfolio allocation should you recommend? So they want aggressive and growth. So they're young. Let's go with this. Okay. This is a tough one. So they're in their 30s. They make a shitload of money and they want aggressive. So we're going to go high. So I would say my guess, and I could be way wrong, is going to be 85% stocks because 5% bonds and 15% money markets is a little much. Okay. 85% stocks, 10% bonds, 5% money markets. That's good. That's going to be like a fair amount of safety because if you have too much in money markets, you're giving up the return and they're aggressive. I think the 60 and 70, they're aggressive. I'm still going with the 85. I think I'm wrong on this. Maybe it's the 70, 20, 10 because that's their age. See, this is where you go back around stuff and you go, okay, maybe I should do that. But I think that's 30% of their shit in money markets. I'm still going to go with 85. I could be way fucking wrong and it could be 70, but let's find out. Make me a fool. Okay. An agent guides, it's me. I'm aggressive. That's what I go for shit. Okay. An agent guides their new client through the account opening process. While filling out the new account form, the client is hesitant to offer some pieces of information. According to CIP requirements, which of the following could be excluded from the new account form? I say the number of dependents, right? So you need to know the social security number, their name, and where they live, right? Where they're from. So as customer under CIP, I think the number of dependents doesn't really fucking matter, right? You have 2 kids or 80 kids. I don't think it matters. SEC registration is mandatory for which of the following? 92 million? No. Currently managing 102. No, they don't have to, but they can if they want. Because remember, 100, 110, you get to choose. Under 100, your state. Advising partners and advisor with operations in 21 states. Currently managing 97. Ooh, I like the old 15 state thing. Okay. And there it is. DDD has been recently hired to provide investment advice to an open-end management fund. Boom. So if you're in 15 states or more, you're allowed to register with the SEC. But if you're managing a mutual fund, you have to register with the SEC. So I'm going to go with D as in dog. Okay. A person wishes to begin engaging investors through social media. Which of the following requirements does NASA impose on these communications? Copy of transcript has to be filed with the state administrator for approval. We'll come back to that. Only exempt securities may be discussed. No. Agents administrator. Okay. 3 is true. 3 and 4, definitely. I'm going to go 3 and 4. So you don't have to send the transcript. I like it. I would say 3 and 4. Maybe it's the 1, 3 and 4 is there, I would lean toward that. But 3 and 4 is you have to make sure that the communications are supervised. Means again, if I'm wrong, if it's 1 and 4 is a choice. I could see them saying IRs are responsible for that. We'll come back to that. We'll see if I'm wrong or right. But I think 3 and 4 is the best answer because I don't think they have to file a transcript. Yeah. Oh, that's why. Boom. I know I'm right because administrators don't approve. Boom. No regulator ever approves anything ever. Okay. Which of the following securities is most suitable for an investor specifying a high yield investment income objective? C-rated, callable preferred, C-rated revenue bond. Ooh. That's shitty. Wow. Huh. You know what? I still think it's going to be callable because the munis have a lower return because they're tax-free and callable is more risky to the investors who's going to pay. I would go with callable preferred. Took me a while. Okay. Which of the following is used primarily to price an upcoming security sale? Number of internet searches. Tombstone advertisement. That's how you get the people. Red herring is a preliminary prospectus. No, they're going to use indications of interest. The more people interested, the higher the fucking price. The less people, the lower the price. Indications of interest aren't binding. They're just finding out if there's finding out if there's people interested or not. Which of the following documents must be provided prior to any trades occurring in a new options account? The option disclosure docs. OCC, no, that's the name of the option clearing corp. Options agreement, no. And then the arbitration agreement, no, that doesn't have to be provided. The ODD is the option disclosure doc. That has to be, remember, date 015, disclosure, ODD, approval, then trade, then options agreement 15 days later. We're 22 away. Of the investors listed, which are the most suitable for an unregistered equity REIT? 65, no, they're looking for income. I wouldn't do that. 29 years old, doesn't have a lot of net worth. No. 33, not bad because he's 33 in a million, but I would say the $16 million guy, the rich person, guy or girl, who's looking for capital appreciation and income, that could be work. That could do both. If I'm wrong and it's the 33, I apologize, but my gut is saying the 51-year-old. Institutional investors include all the following answer choices except Murphy Drew acting as a lead investor for a local credit union. River Riley acting as a fund manager for ABC Equity Fund. Acting as okay. Honor Kirby acting as a head investment strategy for Federal Covered Advisor. Arden Alexis investing a country to be made to his daughters. Okay, that's not accredited, probably institutional. He's buying for his daughter, or she is. I don't know the name. But all of these three are acting on behalf of institutions, so they're institutional clients. Arden Alexis doing it for her daughter, while wonderful, is not institutional. Boom. Pay attention to the accepts. Here's another one. Which of the following statements is false in relation to an estate? In the absence of a will, the estate administrator is appointed. I don't think so. Oh, maybe. An estate administrator is appointed. Okay, that may be true. An executive of an estate is appointed in a will. The decedent dies testate if they do not have a will. No, that's okay. A decedent if they're intestate if they don't have a will. Which is false. Okay, you know what? An estate, I guess the will appoints the executor, and they would have, if there's no will, they will name someone. Okay, I like that. I would go with a decedent dies, and intestate means there's no will. Testate, I've never heard of that word, means they have a will. Okay. Which of the following statements regarding a trust are true? Revocable trusts are subject to estate taxes. Testamentary trusts are not subject to, everything's subject to probate. Income received in a revocable trust is taxable to the beneficiary. And income distributed from an irrevocable trust is taxable to the trust. Yeah, so 4 is definitely one of them. Okay. I think 1 is true. Let's think about it. Which of the following statements regarding a trust are true? So revocable trusts are subject to estate taxes. I think that's true. Testamentary trusts are not subject to probate. They are. So number 1's in it. Okay. Income received in a revocable trust is taxable to the beneficiary. No, I think it's taxable to the grantor. And income distributed from a revocable trust to the income distributed is taxable to the beneficiary. So I think it has to be 1 because I know it's 1 is correct and 1 and 2 are not. So it has to be 1 only. Sometimes you just have to play the game. How long after an account opening does an investor have to return the signed options agreement? Date 015, disclosure, then approval, then trade, then options agreement, 15 days later. A 30-year-old investor plans to start contributing to a retirement account in order to fund their retirement goal. Okay, good, smart. The investor has a 25-year time horizon, okay, a high tolerance for risk, and an objective of aggressive growth. Additionally, they believe active management is worth the cost and that the right portfolio manager can beat the market consistently. So they do not believe in efficient market theory. Which of the following securities should you recommend? Okay, so let's throw out the index funds because that's not active, and let's go with small or large. They're aggressive. Let's go with small because large is moderate, small is aggressive. And since they think they believe in manager stuff, the index funds are out because they're passively managed. No free lunch, right? So open an account and provide us anyway. 2 referrals and we'll provide a free portfolio analysis. I think that's not okay. I could be wrong on this. I'm going to go with that. This is not okay. And the motherfucking phone keeps ringing. I'm going to say it's going to be that. Okay, pause again. Okay, we'll start this over because the phone keeps fucking ringing. What statement? I shouldn't complain because it's money, whatever. Okay, so now what statement is not false? So what is true regarding a manager and advisory firm that does not provide investment advice to clients but supervises them? They may claim themselves as clerical and avoided registration. No, the IAR registration is required for this person. Maybe they're excluded from the definition of IAR as long as no advice is provided. No, and they're exempt from registration. No. If you're supervising, you got to fucking register. There you go. A registered person would like to begin discussions of their products and services on online forums. In order to do so, NASA rules require which of the following protocols to be followed? A disclosure stating products and services may only be offered in states where they register. That sounds fair. 1. Communication to states where registration is not effective may be specific as long as securities discussed are low risk. No, fuck it, that's weird. 2 is out. So then we know that it's either A or D. Agents and IARs must ensure their firm authorizes you. That's true. So 3 is true. Communication to states where registration are not effective must be general and non-specific. I mean, I fucking guess so. I like 1 and 3, and I don't like 4, but I'll go with it. Okay. Boom, I'll go with 1, 3, and 4 because I don't like 4 at all, but I have to go with it because if you know the 2 are right, then you got to go that way. Okay. And it's not 1 only. Which of the following is true regarding a variable annuity? Life annuities have higher payouts than life with parent and certain. Yes, that's true. Oh, there we go. Life with parent certain have lower payouts than joint and life survivor. Who the fuck would know? Okay. Joint with last survivor have higher payouts than life annuities. No, that's definitely not true. Life, remember, life annuities always has the highest payout, baby. So it's also not none of the above. Cool. Which of the following debt securities would likely experience the most price volatility? So we're thinking long and low, baby, long and low. But first, look for convertibles. Nope, no convertible. Now we go with long and low. Long term, you look at the 25-year 2.9. That's it. Oh, that has to be it. It's the lowest one. Imagine a debenture being lower than a treasury. Crazy. A year ago, an investor made an additional deposit of 10 grand to the portfolio. Uh-oh. Okay. And made numerous investments. Since then, they have received 2 grand. We're down to the last 11. Since then, they have received 2,000 in dividends, of which half are reinvested. Don't care. Half are held in cash in the portfolio. Additionally, they received 2 grand in bond interest. What the fuck? None of which is reinvested, kept in cash while the securities have not been sold. They also attained 1,300 in capital appreciation. Motherfucker, I can't do this crap, but I'm going to try it. So we invested 10 grand. How much do we make? We made 2. I'm going to go with the basic, and if I'm wrong, I'm fucking wrong. 2 grand plus 2 grand plus 1,300 equals 5,300 divided by my 10 grand. Is 53%. And that's the fucking answer. Whether they like it or not, that's the fucking answer. So total return is all of your growth and all the money you get divided by the initial. Boom. Issuers taking part in Reg D offerings may sell securities to how many accredited investors? Unlimited accredited investors. Unlimited always. That's a trick question. Very tricky, Brandon. Very tricky. Another phone call. And we're back. I hope you didn't miss me too much in that blip of a time because I paused the recording. CDE Capital Management maintains an office in and is currently registered in Florida and Kansas. They want to begin doing business in West Virginia, but want to avoid registration. On what circumstances would registration be required? They're not asking what it isn't. They're being required. Okay, I like that. I like this. This is a little confusing at first. Offering service to 3 retail clients and 80 institutionals without an office. They do not have to register. Only working with 6 on vacation without opening. Okay, that you don't have to do. Offering services to 6 retail clients and 4 institutional. That would be over the limit. Only work with 4 retail without an office. So remember, so the deal on the IAs is if you don't have a place of business and 5 or less clients, you don't have to register. So the answer here is going to be 6 because A is under, B is they're on vacation, who cares, and D is under. As long as you don't open an office, you're good to go. Unless you have more than 6 clients. Just make sure they're not federal. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Issuers taking part in a Reg D may sell securities to how many non-accredited? Reg D offer. Okay, so it depends. If it's a Reg D 506, there's no non-accredited, but here you have to find the best answer. Non-accredited, you can make sales to up to 35 non-accredited, as opposed to the private placement, which is up to 10 retail clients. Lockup periods for hedge funds increase what risk? Liquidity risk, because you can't sell it. You got to worry about liquidity. 300 shares of ABC is purchased at 44 on Friday, December 22nd. On Tuesday, the 18th, a year later, not quite a year later, the security sold for 64. This would definitely be a short-term gain, right? So remember, so we pay so we're going to pay $1 in each. So we're buying. So remember, commissions count toward your cost basis and proceeds. So you really bought it at 45 and sold it at 63. So what the hell's the difference in that? So remember, 44 plus $1 commission is 45. And then 64 minus $1 commission is 63. So we're going to do 63 minus 45 is 18 times 300 shares is 5,400. And it is a short-term gain because it is not over a year. Boom. So 5,400 short-term gain. And there it is. Kaboom, kaboom. Emerson is a 54-year-old customer, young whippersnapper, 54 or so young, that wants to contribute to both an Roth and a regular IRA. What should you tell them? They must choose one. They can contribute 6 to both. The IRA, they may contribute 7 grand to both. No. So with an IRA, if you can have as many IRAs and Roths as you want, but the total is 6 grand a year if you're under 50 and 7 grand a year if you're over 50, but it's total combined. So that's why it's for both combined. If you have a spousal, you can double that. The dentist, who is a lead employer in it. You see, I'm going punch because we're near the end. The dentist who is a lead employer in a dental practice contributes the maximum to the Keogh plan, which is like $54,000. The dental assistant makes $25,000. What must a dentist contribute? So if you do the max, and if you're the owner and you do the max, you have to do 25% of your employee. You have to contribute 25% of your employee's salary. So 25,000 times 0.25 is 12. What did I do? I did 50%, right? 25,000 times 0.25 is 6,250. I knew that looked wrong. Which of the following statements is false regarding correspondence and advertising regulations for the registered persons? Broker dealers may never be deceptive. Yeah, that's fucking true. IRAs may only advertise past recommendations of covering a period of at least a year, and the disclosure is non-selective. That's true. IARs may never distribute testimonials. That's true. IARs may always advertise past recommendations. No, they can't. If they follow some rules, if they have to follow rules. It's not an always. They can't cherry pick shit like that. Which of the following securities is least suitable for an investor specifying tax advantaged? Okay, least suitable for tax advantage income. Okay. Preferred stock of a blue chip company, AA rated revenue, AA rated convertible, BBB rated GO. So the GO, we're going to say that's tax advantaged. I'm going to say the preferred stock is it's tax advantaged because it's tax efficient. AA rated convertible revenue bond. Yeah, that's tax advantage. I'm going to go with AA rated convertible. I could be wrong on this, but the reason I say is because the bonds you're going to pay ordinary income on that income, and you have some risk there. The preferred stock, once you hold it for a while, it's a qualified dividend, so it's a lower tax bracket. I'm going to go with convertible bond. The USA obligates watch, I got like a fucking 50 on this. USA obligates a broker dealers applying for registration to disclose a number of facts relating to their business. Which of the following disclosures are required? The tax reporting number of the firm, the registration with other states, securities related misdemeanor related to the firm 30 years ago. You have to report all the fucking, and if they say that's wrong, I'll be, okay, so 3 and 4, definitely. So, oh, so definitely not 3 and 4. That's interesting. I still think all shit from 30 years ago has to be reported. It's just because 3 is out. That's funny that none of them pick. Okay, so make me look stupid. Tax reporting number of the firm, registration with other states. I would say I'll go with 1, 2, and 4 just for hell of it, just because I'm getting tired and I want to get this done with. NISMIA defines which of the following is a federal covered security? Municipal bond in its own state, profit share. No. So remember, muni bonds in your own state is not federally covered. Muni bonds in other states is federally covered. Voting trust certificates, it doesn't mean anything. And profit sharing doesn't mean. So it's going to be here because it's regulated by the Investment Company Act of 40. Okay, let's see how much we got. How bad I did. 94. What did I get wrong? So guys, what it is, you don't worry about the wrong ones. You don't worry about what you get wrong. As long as you pass, you're not always going to get everything right, as obviously I don't. So think I know my shit and I got a 94. And see, I still struggle with some of these questions. Like they're not always like, oh, I know this. But remember, on the real exam, I bang out 98, 99s on these exams. So on the real ones. So that's good to do this. I'm glad we got through this together. I hope it wasn't too confusing. If you have any more, if you have any questions, please hit in the comments and we'll go over it. Have a great night. Wash your hands.